Hello and welcome to a very special Nintendo Direct Prediction Spectacular. Yes, folks, we have Direct Sign. And now maybe Nintendo social media will actually be usable for a couple of days.
Yeah, it won't just be people replying, being like, "We're direct. We're direct now."
Yep. Yeah, so I'm Donald. I'm joined by the boss, John Reardon.
Hello.
And the boss's boss, Neil Ronahan.
Oh, hi.
Hey,
New boss, same as the old boss.
Yeah. Hey, you signed the checks, dude.
Yep.
All right.
Lucrative paychecks.
Yeah.
$0 paychecks.
Yep.
So now that we know that Nintendo Direct is going to be on Wednesday, we figured we'd better get together and quickly get down some things on paper so we can all look really stupid when none of them actually end up happening. At least that was my goal going in. I don't know about the rest of you.
Mine are all 100% accurate, guaranteed.
You got those industry sources on lock?
Yeah.
I'm hoping to shoot about 50%. That would be nice, but I'm not optimistic because I don't know. I want things to happen, and usually things might happen. Sometimes I'm surprised, but usually I'm like, well, it would have been cooler if more happened.
And of course, they're gonna rapid fire through about 20 things on this list that aren't on this list anyway in about 8 minutes. If this new direct format's any indication. But let's get into the predictions here. Let's have John go first. What do you think the first thing you want to call out is happening on tomorrow?
I think this is a pretty safe one. But I think we get Spyro, the Dragon Reignited Trilogy, I think that's what it's called, on Switch. Yep. It's been kind of teased by, I think there was a German GameStop leak just the other day. So that seems like something that's kind of just obvious. I mean, Crash Bandicoot, the remaster came out on Switch and sold very, 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 very well. So it just... That's an easy call, and nothing that game is doing on a technical level is too difficult for the Switch. Great remaster, by the way.
I'm still trying to figure out how you had to download Spyro 2 and 3 on Xbox One and PS4, and they were like 20 gigs each.
Yeah. The nice thing was that download is on the disc. It's not like Nintendo's been doing it, at least on PS4 and Xbox One. It wasn't like Resident Evil or Bayonetta where they would give you a code that was one-time use to download that stuff. With Spyro, it was just part of the install, was that you got those games. So I think hopefully it'll be the same way on Switch.
Wasn't they got a lot of flack for that, and they did something? I remember there was a lot of hubbub around Spyro initially, and then it was it got delayed a month. They were like, "Oh, we're not going to do that."
They delayed it, and a lot of people thought they were going to put it on the disc because of on the box art it says download required for content download required on the box, and so people I think assumed that only part of it would be on the disc, which I mean it is, but it's not a single use thing. We all assumed it would be to fight selling used copies of the game, but it's not. It's you can buy a used copy of Spyro and it's fine. Yeah, so hopefully it's that way on Switch.
It's not.
I mean, I think that's a pretty well. I think my thing is I don't know if it'll be in this direct. Although I think what was Crash Bandicoot. I think was
Crash was in. It was in the first full direct last year, the March direct.
Yeah, wasn't it an E3? And Spyro is small enough that it could be a non E3. It's also I think it's been long enough that this could even be a pre E3 release.
What did that? I think the GameStop leak said August. But that could just be in Europe.
That could be.
Well, I think it's also Crash Team Racing is hitting in, I believe, May or even June. So I feel like
June 21st.
Yeah, June.
I guess maybe there's an off chance that Spyro hits in May, but I think that August date sounds pretty good.
Spyro hits in May.
I don't think
it's announced as a bonus character for Crash Team Racing.
Yeah, that might not be a bad idea. Yeah.
And in other things that have leaked out of retail, I guess my first prediction here, we get the Assassin's Creed in America collection, which is basically Assassin's Creed 3 and then Liberation HD, which I think was on PS4 and Xbox One a couple of years ago and originally started out on the Vita.
All your favorite Assassin's Creed games.
Yeah, that's such a weird pull. Like, I know it's coming out on other platforms as well. Like, it's already announced on PS4 and Xbox One, correct?
Yeah,
Yes.
and Ubisoft themselves had a page saying it was PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Switch.
Yeah. So that's cat's out of the bag. Well, that's probably from their non-existent January direct.
I feel like it's gonna happen. I got it at launch of the Wii U, and I didn't really like it.
As I recall, I got it. No, that was Black Flag that I got for free by trading in a game when Best Buy and its subsidiaries up here were desperate to get their used games market over.
Black Flag is like a legitimately amazing game. Assassin's Creed 3 is also a game.
Yeah. Although I have a soft spot in my heart for Liberation because it was the game that I got with my Vita.
Yeah, I haven't played Liberation, so that would be fun.
And I think I remember hearing Liberation was pretty all right. Although Black Flag is the one that I think if I had to pick an Assassin's Creed game to come out on Switch, I don't think Assassin's Creed Odyssey would work. I mean, maybe it would require
it's already
a lot
on Switch.
In Japan.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah. So
you have to stream it.
Yeah. But I feel like Assassin's Creed 4 would be the one that would be. But, Assassin's Creed is Assassin's Creed, I guess.
Yeah, port Black Flag and Rogue to Switch, you cowards.
So my first prediction is, and we already know, and it's a port that's over 20 years old. I think that Final Fantasy VII will be shadow dropped after the presentation. Final Fantasy VII showed up in a commercial where it was like that. I was playing like Mario Kart with his kids. It was him playing Final Fantasy on a plane and like talking to people next to him, being like, "Oh, that was a tough battle." But it was, a Nintendo marketing where they were marketing Final Fantasy VII, which is weird. But you think if they're airing that commercial, so I think I'm going to throw down that I think it's going to be shadow dropped. I think at a minimum, we're going to get like it's coming out like February 20th or something like that. Like I think Final Fantasy VII is imminent at this point. I think we'll also just in general get an update on that. Everybody's Chocobo thing is, I believe, coming out in March. We do have there will probably be a token reminder of games coming out in April, and maybe we'll also get a date for 9 as well.
I honestly, on my first run of the predictions, I had both 7 and 9 coming out because Lord knows Square Enix has done stupider things with these Final Fantasy re-releases.
That would be funny. But in general, with shadow drops, because I don't think anybody else calls that a shadow drop in the rest of our predictions, I think we're going to get something. Whether it's like maybe an eShop game or something just is available for download right after it. I had jotted down, think Pokemon Quest, but something we want to play. Or maybe like a demo of something like Daemon Ex Machina. That would be a cool game that I think would benefit from having a demo that people could play. And smashy smash with the big mech robots.
I like where that's going.
Yeah. Because I guess maybe there's another. Maybe tying into John's prediction, there could be another shadow drop, but I think that John's a little more downtrodden about his next prediction than I would be.
Downtrodden. I think this prediction. We all know how Nintendo deals with delays, and so they will be announced, or they will come out and once again apologize for Metroid Prime 4, and then they'll say that it's going to be a while before they can get that out. So to keep us busy in the meantime, they'll be remastering a previous Metroid game, probably Metroid Prime, but who knows? But they won't show us a trailer. They'll just show us like 2 really early tech demo-y screenshots of it. And then that'll come out, and then they'll probably do like a few more remasters before they can get Prime out anyway, or Prime 4 out. So that's because that's what they did with Wind Waker and Twilight Princess HD. So that's what's going to happen here. They love using remasters to fill time.
So you don't think they just dropped the whole trilogy right at one shot?
No, they're going to sell you each one individually for $60. And the first one will be like really deeply remastered. Like they'll improve things about the pacing at the end of the game and like overhaul the entire engine. And then the next one will pretty much just run at a higher resolution and have some slightly better textures, and will be much more disappointing. So that's where that's going.
Interesting way of doing things, given that they have a completed trilogy already that they could just do the quick and dirty remaster on and get it out the door.
Well, that's the thing. They're gonna put a lot of time into the first one because they're like, well, this will be the only one we do before we get 4 out, and then 4 will take like a million years to come out, and they're like, I guess we do the next one, and so there's precedent for this. I'm not making this up. This is just what they're gonna do. I'm just telling you now.
Yeah, like I feel like we're gonna get a Metroid Mea Culpa at some point, whether it's Metroid Prime Trilogy or just Metroid Prime 1 that comes out in 2 years, and then 5 years after that, Metroid Prime 4 comes out.
It could also be Samus Returns. They could throw a curveball in there. Because that game it's dumb that game is on 3DS. That should already be on Switch.
And there's already precedent for Mercury Steam taking a 3DS game and bringing it to HD consoles, as they did with their mediocre Castlevania game on 3DS.
Oh, yeah. So there's that.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Samus Returns seems like it uses the same engine as that Castlevania game. I played them right after each other, and the setup is very, very similar. But yeah, I want Metroid. That sounds nice.
Could be Federation Force.
That'd be worth it.
Oh,
That'd
man.
be great.
That could be Nintendo Switch Online exclusive.
While you wait,
can play online
Prime
Federation
4.
Force.
While you wait for Metroid Prime 4, don't worry, we're not going to leave you hanging. We know you wanted it. Here's Federation Force HD.
Oh my god,
Sold.
that'd be so good. You thought Next Level Games was working on Luigi's Mansion 3. Wrong.
That's also Retro Studios.
For some reason, Nintendo just hates Next Level Games, and they were like, we finished Federation Force. Can we work on something that people don't like obnoxiously hate for no reason? And they're like, no, you're making an HD version of that game that you guys all had to shut your personal Twitter accounts.
They're gonna make
because you just got harassed all the time because it wasn't what they wanted.
I mean, now that we know that there is a theoretical Metroid Prime 4 coming, though, would maybe Federation Force get a better rap the second time around?
I think you'd have to wait until, like, if they release it like the week after Prime 4 comes out, so that, because that's the excuse I've heard from Metroid fans, is that they're just so hungry that they're very picky about what they eat. So you have to wait until right after Prime 4 comes out, so they're totally satiated and they'll just play, a good game.
You can have it packed into Prime 4 like Star Fox Guard.
It could just be the multiplayer of Prime 4 is just Federation Force, and they don't even tell you because nobody's played it, so nobody would even know. They just put it in there and be like,
this is actually a really fun game.
Cool, online
what a neat mechanic.
It has like a campaign and everything. This is really great. And Nintendo's like, yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's totally new. It's like how in Super Mario Party, all that game does is basically just take all the cool ideas that they've been putting in Mario Party 3DS games for the past 4 years.
Right, because nobody's...
But then everybody was like, this is brand new. It's like, yeah, the partner play was in the last 3DS game. It was real cool then.
Yeah. Yeah. Once again, there's precedent.
All right. Well, speaking of things I will instantaneously buy, my next prediction, we get a release date for Joker and Smash Ultimate, which is probably going to be in April.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I don't think we get Persona 5 announced.
I think
tomorrow,
that Atlas is gonna keep that in because they have the March like Persona 5R or whatever the hell.
The March Persona, they're gonna finish off the anime. They're gonna do the true ending. Man, that's gonna be one long slog through Mementos. But then you go through, and then they'll probably do the announcement at the end, which will be something.
Yeah,
what's Dark System works up to right now?
I would be baffled if they're like, oh yeah, Joker's coming to Smash Brothers. Also, this Persona 5 Golden, it's coming to PS4 and Xbox One.
No, it would not be coming to Xbox One. The only thing that Persona will ever get is the fighting game. Okay, that and Catherine, which is technically in the Persona universe at some point, but that's another story for another time. But yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think we get another. But after Joker because we got Piranha Plant in January, Joker in April, and then I think we get something like they had with the Lucas and Ryu video at E3.
Yeah, that might be a cool idea, like to follow that precedent of instead of announcing the next character after Joker, just have it be. I mean, well, let's get real. We'll know what the next character after Joker is because, like, when Joker is added to the game, people will data mine it, and it'll just be like, "Oh, the hero from Dragon Quest is coming out on June 13th." It's just going to be in the code, because Nintendo just leaves all these breadcrumbs.
Nintendo uploads all their future press releases to the Smash Bros. Code. It's just sitting in there.
Oh no, it was supposed to be a changelog. Instead, it was just the plans for all the DLC characters.
Wait, Minecraft Steve, huh?
Yeah. So my next prediction is a release day one. I got specific call outs that are sure to be wrong, but I feel pretty confident about the months for these two games at least. I think that we're going to see a lot about Fire Emblem Three Houses in this direct, and I think that that game is going to come out on May 17th. Wouldn't be surprised if it comes out in April in North America, or it comes out in April in Japan. But I think it'll come out in North America and Europe May 17th. That's my call. Just in May. The other thing is I think it'll be probably flip-flopped to some way, is that whereas Fire Emblem will hit in April in Japan, I think that taking its spot on the North American and European side is going to be Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, which I think if you don't have your big Marvel Avengers superhero game come out around Avengers Endgame, Nintendo shouldn't be making a Marvel superhero game. So I have that coming out the week before Endgame, April 19th. I could see it coming out even the same day as Endgame, but I think that you need to have that video game be in stores right after people all see the Avengers come back from death, because let's get real, that's
spoilers.
I don't know. Infinity War's been out for like a year. Like, how have you existed?
I meant that you're bringing that they're gonna come back.
They did.
Spider-Man isn't going to stay dead, even though he has a new movie coming out.
He has a new movie coming out 3 months after this.
But he's totally dead, guys.
Yeah. He's actually in purgatory. That's why he's in Europe.
It's a plot twist. Oh, that'd be great.
All right. So
yeah, those are my two release date callouts. I think those are going to be. I think that might be the big hits for Nintendo's first half of the year.
Yeah, and I've got something on Fire Emblem, but we'll get to that in a moment here, because I really want to know what the hell John's got for number 3.
Okay, so we're getting into the weirder territory. So this has two parts. First of all, Nintendo is going to be releasing or announcing their next Labo set, which is a cardboard VR headset that's going to be way too heavy because you're going to have to actually put your Switch tablet into it. But as part of that, they will also announce that Star Fox Zero VR, shortened to Star Fox ZVR, will be.
Is that shortened?
Yes.
Just call it SFCVR.
It's called New in quotes Star Fox ZVR. All right, that's okay. The name. I'm not going to fight you on it. That's just what it's called. And so that will be exclusive to the Labo VR. It will not, however, be bundled with it. Instead, the VR will be bundled with Star Fox Guard VR, shortened to SFG VR. And that's what will actually come in it. And then you can buy
SF Giver.
Yes, SF Giver. But then you can buy Star Fox Zero VR separately, which will also still come with another copy of Star Fox Guard VR, even though they can only work in that VR headset. They will not work on the Switch normally. It will not include the original version of Star Fox Zero. I
kind of love the idea of Miyamoto had that year at E3 where he's like, here's everything that I'm working on. It's going to save the Wii U. And it's like, nah, actually, we're just going to like fart that out onto Labo.
Yeah. What I mean,
Project Giant Robot.
Which turned out to be okay.
Yeah.
Guard wound up on Wii U.
Yeah, yeah.
So
But I mean,
fair.
Star Fox was also a game that was part of that. Like, here's what Miyamoto's working on.
Yeah. Yeah, but that, I mean, we've talked before. Star Fox Zero is already a VR game.
Yeah,
So
no,
why not let it live up to its full potential as the VR game it always was?
yeah, like I have memories of playing Star Fox Zero, and like that was at the time of when VR was getting gigantic, and I'm like, this is basically the kind of VR game that I want to play.
Yeah. I mean, if you were a real fan, you would have already duct taped your Wii U gamepad to your face while you played it, which is the only true way to play the game.
Yeah.
I love that you're trying to make fetch happen here, John.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
Okay, now if you really want to have some salt, my next prediction is that Fire Emblem Three Houses will unveil its inevitable expansion pass, because sometimes you get sane DLC for Fire Emblem games, and sometimes you get Shadows of Valentia. This time, you'll be recruiting Heroes of Legend, and the first one they're going to show off is going to be Camilla. And I'm going to get a kidney stone from all the salt.
Are you saying so? They're going to announce the expansion pass, but you didn't say they would announce the release date. So they're going to go ahead and announce the DLC before they even give a date for the game because they know you're going to buy it.
Well, I mean, they're going to have to, because the expansion pass is going to be on sale from day one. So by logic, they're going to put the game out. The DLC, like, you'll be able to buy the DLC day one, even if you don't get it till like August or whatever. I mean, you could drop the $65 on the Valentia expansion pass on May 19th, 2017. I'm just saying. there's precedent for that if you want to go there. But yeah, I think we do get a hero's date. I'm not too confident on it being May, just because the rule tends to be about 4 months, and recently we've had something get like 2 months with Fates, where it was out, like they showed it in April Direct and it came out in Japan in June. So, but I think this time they're going to go a little bit longer, just because it is the Switch game. So I could honestly see it in that Mario Tennis Aces slot in like right after E3.
I'm sticking with May. I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I guess my thing is I don't know what the gap between Japan and the West is going to be with Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Given the way it's grown in the West, I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if they did simultaneous worldwide for it.
I mean, I would be impressed if they did that. I just, I don't think that's never happened before with the Fire Emblem game, right?
The closest we've seen is about 3 weeks for Warriors, or a month for
Valentia.
A month for Valentia, yeah. Although, I mean, now that they have the mobile game, and they're presumably going to be advertising the hell out of Three Houses in said mobile game at some point, I think they probably have the wherewithal now to do a simultaneous worldwide thing.
Yeah, like Fire Emblem has grown exponentially, especially with the continued success of Heroes on mobile.
Yeah.
All right, so my next prediction is Pikmin 4 lives. I don't know how much we'll see. This might be like how Animal Crossing and Luigi's Mansion were teased back in, what was that, September of 2018. I think that might be the kind of tease that we get. Maybe we see a date, or maybe we see like a Pikmin 4 2019, or Pikmin 4 no date given, which we can maybe assume it's a 2020 game. This time there's 4 captains.
Well, there's Al,
I mean, I guess, but
Brittany, Charlie, Olimar are all playable from the start.
And well, maybe the hook, because okay, you know what? This is me going off the cuff with some Pikmin 4 deep thoughts. Switch, big part of that's the local multiplayer. What you could have it could be maybe this is also influenced by the fact that I can't say what I'm playing. It's embargoed until the end of February, but there might be a video game that's similar in scope to Pikmin 4, where there's 4 players split screen. Do that with Pikmin 4, where you can have 4 people playing on Joy-Con, playing Pikmin 4 together, like going off, and instead of bouncing between them like you did on the Wii U, it would be like you and your friends all working together. There would be online co-op as well. I did not have this idea until till like a minute or two ago, and I now really desperately want this Pikmin game to be like this 4-player online masterpiece.
I mean, we've been hearing that Pikmin 4 has basically been done for 3.5 years now. So if they're going to trot it out, I suppose this would be the time to do it.
Pikmin 4 was the first Pikmin they finished. They did that. It was before.
There's a weird time loop.
Yeah.
I also we did joke that like Metroid Prime 4, Pikmin 4 has been canceled. They brought in Armature, which is the old Retro Studios guys who worked on Prime, to finish it.
Prime, Recore.
Yeah. But anyway, no, like I do think we're going to see Pikmin. I think we'll get a tease in this direct. Probably. I mean, it won't be a major E3 game, but maybe it'll get more filled out. Maybe it's coming out this year, or maybe it'll be something that we hear about in a later direct and it's coming out like early 2020. But Pikmin will have their day. Damn it.
Still well within the launch window of the Switch.
And I'm surprised nobody had an Animal Crossing prediction, honestly. Then again, the only thing we've seen about it of Animal Crossing is fake dates that have Monday release dates for the game. So we can safely disregard those. I
think my thing with Animal Crossing is that, I mean, because no one does have it, I guess maybe we have to comment on it. I don't know if we'll see a lot of, like, I think it's my prediction that we won't see a lot of Animal Crossing in this direct, because I think that Animal Crossing will be the subject of future directs. Like, Nintendo kind of does this thing with directs where what we're going to get from this direct this week is laying out the roadmap from now until E3. There might be some other things that get filled in along the way. Like, there's a chance that they talk about Fire Emblem more, and then like it gets an early June release date in like a month, and we don't get that release date in this direct. But it's going to be like, here's what you have to look forward to from the rest of February going up to June. And then E3 will probably get like, here's your marquee holiday games and other stuff that's going to be coming out in the next 6 months. And then we'll get another direct that in like, August, September, that will then confirm the rest of the year and tease, early 2020. I think that Animal Crossing will fit more in that summer window at the earliest. So I think that Animal Crossing will get more filled out, maybe at E3, maybe even later than that. Or maybe like in like something, maybe there will be an Animal Crossing only direct in like May. I don't know. I mean, that's my Animal Crossing rant.
Yeah, and I think, although I think my other sort of off the board prediction here is that we get an announcement of a Pokemon Direct for the 27th.
Yeah. So that was another thing that came out, is that they're doing like these at the Nintendo New York. They have, what is it? It's like 4 days where it's like they're celebrating Pokemon Day, and there's going to be people from the Treehouse there for Q&As like every day for 4 days.
Which Treehouse doesn't localize Pokemon to the best of my knowledge.
Like, it's weird. The whole thing's weird. It does, but I mean, one of the marquee games is Pokemon Gen 8 is coming out this year. At least as far as that's what we've all been told. That'll like. I don't think a mainline, or at least in the direct era, mainline Pokemon game has never been revealed in a direct. It's always been a separate thing.
Right.
So it could be that maybe they mentioned something. I mean, another thing that we don't have listed that I think could happen is Detective Pikachu coming to Switch. In the same regards of Avengers Endgame, if you are going to have a Detective Pikachu movie and you have a Detective Pikachu video game, put it out on the system that people actually play. But so if they do that, they might be like, Detective Pikachu coming out in April or May or whatever. And also stay tuned 2 weeks from now, where we tell you about the future of Pokemon.
Yeah, I could see that.
So, John, what? Now we're getting into the really weird. We're back here. We got some really weird stuff going on. So, John, what's your next prediction?
Okay, so ARMS, everybody's favorite Switch online game, will be going free to play.
Runs better than Smash Brothers.
That's true. It's going to go free to play. You will get, in the free version, you will get 3 characters. Probably Ribbon Girl, Springman, and the Mummy. And
Dude, Master Mummy was my boy in that game.
You won't get Helix because he's the best character, so they won't give him away for free.
And Twin Tail, you're gonna have to pay for that ass.
Yeah. The stream's now over. So you do that, and then you can buy additional characters as paid DLC for the game.
Okay.
That's it.
Or maybe they do it where it's like they rotate the characters out. Like I know they do that with some free-to-play games. Like I think
I think Paladins does that.
Yeah.
It's always very sad when I get on Paladins and nobody that I'm good with is available to play as.
I mean, I'm impressed that you play Paladins.
There's a stream of me playing Paladins where for some reason I do really well. And like there were people in the comments like, wow, you're really good at Paladins. And I'm like, I don't know how this game works. And it was a good moment. It's fun. Runs well on Switch.
I feel like go on, Donald.
They're doing this tournament right now with all the ARMS characters sort of in their sort of
the party crash.
I wonder if like the top 4 from that tournament could go into a free to play.
That'd be a good idea, and that might be a good way to. I mean, maybe you don't announce ARMS 2 yet, but maybe this is like laying down the groundwork for the next evolution of ARMS.
And it could obviously be exclusive to like Nintendo Switch Online.
Yeah, well, I guess if you're going to do online, then it would be. I mean, I guess you could do the single player stuff too. Yeah, that would probably be a good Nintendo Switch Online exclusive thing.
Yeah, just give you like the multiplayer and.
Yeah.
Nobody's buying that game anymore anyway, so might as well.
And like it did all right. I don't think it really met Nintendo's expectations overall, but I think it like it was like 2 million worldwide, maybe. Like
it was over 2 million, and it came out in that post E3 slot 2 years ago.
Yeah. And it came out right before Splatoon, right?
Splatoon,
like a month before Splatoon.
Splatoon cut that game off at the legs, honestly.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, like I think I would be very disappointed if ARMS never gets a follow-up. Because I think they had some cool ideas, but kind of like Splatoon 1, that like they didn't know necessarily what they had. And yeah, ARMS is not the success that Splatoon was right off the bat. But I think that like ARMS, like, no, lean into the lore more. Give me a story mode. Like you do that, and like I'm all in. Because I think that the multiplayer, like, my disappointment with ARMS Online is that you either had people who didn't know what they were doing, or people who would just like you'd like throw a punch and then I'm dead.
They were amazing. That's any fighting game.
Yeah. I guess to an extent that's any fighting game, but like playing during when they had the test punch for ARMS, you had a lot more balance of people who were just kind of middle of the road, and that was really good. But then the online of the game after like the first month was just like either you're playing a child or you're getting destroyed. I had a lot of fun playing local multiplayer with ARMS. Like that, it was a really good time to just be like, hey, put these 2 Joy-Con in your hand and just follow these simple. Like the tutorial in that game is very good. It's it takes a little time for people to adjust, but it's just like punch to punch, and it makes it clear of how to play.
So my next prediction is going to make one member of our staff in particular quite salty, because we've seen 2K talk about how well Civ 6 is done on Switch. They've talked about how they want to show more support for the Switch. They're going to bring out the biggest gun they've got, GTA 5 Switch.
I'll be impressed if they can get that game to run on Switch.
Why not? It ran on PS3 and 360 just fine. The only thing that I'd be worried about is the storage requirements, honestly, because so much of that game is tied up in GTA Online.
Oh, it'd definitely be one of those ones where you have to download 90% of the game. Because they would not splurge for they'd get the smallest cart size they sell, and then make you download everything else.
Well, I mean, it was a 2-disc game on 360.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be the first time they've done something stupid.
Multi-card games on Switch.
Oh, it'd be like playing Riven on floppy disk back in the day.
or on PS1. That thing had like 6 discs on PS1.
Yeah.
I do think, like, I do agree that going off of what 2K was saying with the success of Civ 6, I think we're going to see 2K doing more in the system because I think they've also been happy with the NBA 2K sales as well.
So that's another wild prediction here. Neil?
All right, so going on, I guess following up by my Pikmin 4 stuff, I think another Nintendo Big Guns might be announced in a similar way, and that's a 2D Zelda. So, when last we left Zelda, Breath of the Wild changed things up dramatically. Before then, we had a bunch of remakes. We also had The Legend of Zelda: Link Between Worlds, Triforce Heroes, E.G. Enuma making a bunch of comments about wanting multiplayer in Zelda games and experimenting with that. And, basically what he laid that out, what was that, January 2013? It was at that direct that he was like, here's what I want to change up about Zelda and reassess. So I think we're going to see something with the 2D Zelda. Probably an early tease. I think this is, like a fall release for this year. But like that's the Zelda game that will come out this year. I mean, it's weird. 2018, I think was the first year in a long time that we didn't have a new Zelda game. I guess we had Hyrule Warriors Legends, but
yeah, that like you said, we had a new Zelda game. I'm sorry, Breath of the Wild costumes and a Muso don't count.
Yeah. But yeah, like I mean, I don't know what form that 2D Zelda is going to take, but it's going to happen. I hope Enuma gets weird.
Yeah, I wonder how weird they can get. Although I suppose when you sell 11 million copies or 12 million copies with Breath of the Wild, if you include the Wii U sale, you've basically written a blank check to be as weird as you want to be for the next game.
Do we know like is like Enuma really into Dali? Like, are we just going to see like it's just like this weird?
The entire game,
you're clocks melting. Oh man, it's gonna be like Majora's Mask.
It'll be like LSD Simulator on PS1.
Yeah. It'll be the whole game. You'll play as the wall Link from Link Between Worlds.
It'll be like E.G. Enuma. What did you do after making all that money off of Breath of the Wild? And it's like get into recreational drugs. The next Zelda game's about getting addicted to cocaine.
They're gonna make that sci-fi Zelda that they didn't make for Breath of the Wild.
Like that's when like I love that that weirdness is in Zelda. That even if those experiments, I mean, we did get the motorcycle and everything, but the fact that they're doing concept art where they're like, I don't know, we put Link in jeans. Like, let's see what that's about.
I like that the alien concept got far enough that they were like making tech demos of it. Like somebody pitched that and they were like, you know what? See where that goes. Let's follow this road for a while.
Yeah, and I think like I think the guy who directed Triforce Heroes and Link Between Worlds, like I don't think he was as involved with Breath of the Wild, although I think Breath of the Wild did get to that kind of all hands on deck portion of development near the end. But like I mean like they're working on a Zelda game. Like that, it's been a while since. I mean, Breath of the Wild was a landmark achievement and did require a lot of that team working on it. But like Triforce Heroes was 2015.
Yep.
So if we get a 2D Zelda, but this holiday, that will have been 4 years since the last new 2D Zelda.
Yeah. I don't know. Let's make Linkle canon.
Sure.
Yeah. Just it'll be the Legend of Linkle. It'll just be a Link to the Past, but you play as Linkle.
Yeah.
That's the only difference.
Either that, or it's like a Link to or it's a Zelda 2 done by Tom Happ from Axiom Verge.
I mean, where's that Zelda 2 remake? They should be doing that.
Absolutely.
Because Zelda 2 is that kind of game that I play it and I get very mad about it. But I think that the idea of Zelda 2 is really good. It's just that game as it came out in the 80s is a bad game.
Yeah, Zelda 2 really needs a Metroid Zero mission.
Yeah.
Real bad.
Yep. Anyway.
So let's go one more round of predictions here. And John, this is you really calling your shot.
Okay, so Star Fox Grand Prix, the game we all know is totally a real game that was being developed by Retro Studios. It is coming out this year. It is, however, eShop only. because Nintendo has so little faith in it that they didn't want to spend the money on the cartridge to release it. They considered not releasing it in America, similar to Devil's Third, but ultimately, after all the comments they got from the leak, they decided we're going to put it out, but it will be eShop only, possibly exclusive to Switch Online subscribers, and it will be coming out in May before E3.
I mean, I'd play that game.
Of course,
I would.
Game of the year.
I would too, but I don't like if that's what they had Retro working on for not God knows how long. Would
5
they
years.
really
5 years since
Tropical Freeze with taking a few people off to give it some more funk, and then moving into Metroid Prime, would they really not release a cartridge for it?
Yes. You have to. Star Fox is a very
I think that it'll come out
Nintendo
on
has
a cartridge
zero
in
faith in
Japan.
the Star Fox brand right now. Oh yeah, yes. Somewhere we'll get a physical in Australia. You can get a physical copy of Star Fox Grand Prix, and it'll come in a steelbook.
And it will come with a scarf.
Yeah. Well, it'll be Fox's ascot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a red scarf.
Also, well, no, it'll be Dylan's Dead Heat Breakers.
Never.
Granted, it was a 3DS game in 2018. Did not get a retail release in North America, but I believe got a retail release in every other region.
There you go.
That might be what it follows.
Let me check here, because I know it got one in Japan. I'm not sure about Europe.
Yeah, I know North America it did not, which is part of the failure of Dylan's Dead Heat Breakers, is that it was a $40 3DS eShop only title in America. Like, I think that
2018.
Like, I think that game's really good. I scoff at that price.
Yeah.
That I am waiting for that game to show up as like 100 gold coin reward on my Nintendo.
Like, I think it was on sale for like $20 on that kind of crazy sale over the holidays. Totally worth it for that. That game is legitimately great. And I hate the first Dylan's Rolling Western with the heat of 1,000 suns, and I think Dead Heat Breakers is awesome.
Yeah, and yes, it did have a European physical release as well, at least according to Wikipedia, so we know it's true.
All right. So I do think, kind of piggybacking on the Grand Prix stuff, whatever Retro has been working on before Prime 4, we better hear about it soon. Like, that's kind of like
they had to be doing something.
Yeah, and I think it's real weird if they're like, oh, we put them on Prime 4. What were they doing before then? You'll never know. I would assume, I guess maybe assumptions with Retro Studios is a mistake at this point. But whatever they were working on, it's probably done. So there
were tweets from like former Retro employees who, when Metroid was announced, they all kind of said like, that's great. I really wonder what's happening to the project we were working on when I left. Like, they were doing something.
Yeah.
It hasn't come out.
Yeah. So we could hear about that in the Direct, whether it's, I hope it's Star Fox Grand Prix, because that sounds so ridiculous and fun. Yeah. But whatever that game is, if it's going to come out, we're going to hear about it soon. Maybe at this Direct. Maybe. Who knows? Woo.
All right. Well, my last and craziest prediction here. We all know that Nintendo has talked about wanting to increase the value of Nintendo Switch Online. And so they're going to start giving stuff away for Switch Online subscribers that they can actually use without spending $70, $80, $90 after shipping for the NES controllers. And in light of the fact that it's been $20 or $16 if you still have Gamers Club unlocked, you lucky bastard, Nintendo will give away, for Switch Online subscribers, you will get a free copy of the basic version of Starlink.
That'd be really cool, because that game's real good.
Now it's just the basic version. They're still going to get you on if you want the DLC, but you'll still get Fox, and that's probably the most important thing.
That's the only character you're going to play as anyway. It's been fun playing it on PS4 because I have an excuse to use all my other characters.
So my last prediction is, so the 3DS In the 3DS in 2019, recently there was some things about the sales of Mario and Luigi's Bowser's Inside Story on 3DS in Japan, where it basically is like the worst selling Mario game in like the past 25 years or something.
These sales were being compared to a Virtual Boy game, and as I recall, not very favorably.
Yeah. So like the 3DS is totally dead. However, Nintendo's the kind of company that probably is just realizing that now. So that means there were things in development to come out later in 2019. We already have Persona Q2, and Nintendo's going to be a bro and not let Atlas hanging by having the only new 3DS game with like 4 months of other games surrounding it completely empty.
So far, Persona Q2 is the only 3DS game confirmed for the next fiscal year.
Yeah, because Kirby's Extra Epic Yarn is coming out March 8th. And I think we had Yokai Watch 3 came out in America. We had A Train Odyssey Nexus, but Persona Q2 is coming out in June, and coming out around the same time is going to be a final 3DS game or two from Nintendo, using deep research into looking at their release cycles and development cycles. I think that game or games will be a new Mario Party game on 3DS.
Another one?
I don't know what we have. Star Rush. We had Island Party, Island Tour,
the Top 100, which
it'll be Mario Party Star Tours.
It's a ride.
They're going to space. But it'll either be that or it'll be an Arzest made platformer. It'll be like Hey Pikmin, where they take something that is not traditionally a 2D platformer and turn it into a 2D platformer. My ideas for this are a Fire Emblem platformer that comes out a little bit after Three Houses. Maybe it's gonna. I mean, no, it'll still have that stupid plasticine 3D art style, but maybe it kind of takes some inspiration from Fire Emblem Heroes or something like that. And it's a little bit of maybe it's a hack and slash platformer or something like that. That could be pretty neat. Or it could be a Splatoon platformer, which I'm honestly surprised has never happened, because that seems like something that you use ink to get around and solve puzzles. It could be a really cool puzzle platformer with Splatoon characters, deepen the lore. But that's it. I think Nintendo is going to be dumb and have that final 3DS game that no one's going to buy.
Hopefully final.
Yeah.
They'll take 4 minutes to explain it. It'll be one of the biggest games of the show, and it's a 3DS game. Yeah. Just to make Twitter completely lose what's left of its mind.
I mean, really, what they should do. I mean, I say these 3DS games half joking. I mean, the smarter play to do would be we have Arzest to make this Splatoon platformer on 3DS. It's going to come out in 2019. Surely the 3DS will still be kicking by then. Maybe they had the wherewithal to have it be cross-developed for 3DS and Switch, but
they don't.
Yeah. I feel like I ended on a bummer now. I feel bad.
Well, I mean, 3DS, it had a really good innings, but yeah,
I think we're going to get release dates at the yin yang in this thing, and I think there's going to be stuff that we didn't see coming, and that's going to be exciting. There could be crazy third-party announcements and maybe new franchises from Nintendo that we never could have saw coming, and I'll always be optimistic for these things. There used to be there was a couple year stretch, thanks Wii U, where I was very jaded about Nintendo Directs and would be like, what desperate ploy are they going to have now? Like, are they just going to announce the next 4 years of games on the Wii U in one Direct again?
They're literally just drawing things on Paint as the Direct is live, just
all right,
how about this?
We have that cute-looking Kirby game, Yoshi. Can someone Photoshop that real quick?
All I want to if there's one word that I want to hear in this Direct, this is the sad thing. It's folders. Where the hell are my Switch folders?
Yeah.
And how much money are they leaving on the table by not selling more themes for the Switch?
I mean, black and white isn't enough for you?
Just
I'd
give
like
me
a
folders,
little-
damn it. Just give me the
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah. So with that, we have officially gone longer than the direct probably will, unless it's really long.
I hope they announce it as a direct focused on upcoming 3DS titles for the year of 2019.
I do love the weird wording that people would obsess over from back in the day.
Yeah.
I know.
And
I know. Like,
and look for those disclaimers. No, we're not going to talk about mobiles, and no Mario
Yeah.
Kart
Yeah.
Tour here.
we're not talking about NX. Like, shut your piles, guys.
A direct for children and people with childlike hearts, or whatever the Labo one was. That was the best one.
Was that even a direct, or was that just a video?
No,
they
it
dropped on
was like a
YouTube?
trailer, but that was like their preamble. Was
Yeah.
it's like, listen, you're not gonna like this, but just stick it out anyway.
But hell, we put Project Giant Robot in there. Please be excited.
Please understand.
Yes. So keep it locked here to this YouTube channel. We'll be breaking all the direct information down. Probably tomorrow night by the time you see this for on Nintendo News Report, and we'll have probably other videos going up as well. All the news, all of that will be on Nintendo World Report. Patreon.com/NWR. Show us some love. Support the site that supports these videos. And hey, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you get told every time we upload something new.
We're almost to 60,000 or 50,000.
50,000.
Do it.
Big jump.
Depending on when you're watching this, maybe we are almost to 60,000.
All right. Thanks very much for watching, and we will see you after the direct.
Bye.
Bye.